We about to be on. All right, now we here with Chaz Franklin. Let me get this correct. Pro point guard overseas, and we're at the SL Digital Media Podcast. He's about to tell me his journey. Let it rip.
Hey man, well, just want to introduce myself to everyone. I want to thank you for having me on. Um, Obviously, it's been a crazy journey for me. Probably a story that most people don't know, but I'm blessed and humble to share it with you. As you are the master of all things controversial. So
Hey, that's what I do. I said, let me hit Chaz up, because I said Chaz been out here working real hard, doing community service. I met him, because I was doing the games at the Hill, and then after he graduated, his brother played in it. So I remember everybody that played in the league, and I'm cool with a lot of the players anyway. So I try to keep people, you know, in my pocket if they want me to.
right,
So,
right,
tell people about your journey from you from South Philly,
right,
but your journey is a little harder than most, as
yeah,
it usually is for most.
right,
And but no matter what, you made a situation out of it, period. So tell
right.
people about your journey and where you're headed and what's next for you, because I know there's life after basketball.
Right. Well, like I said, I'm from South Philadelphia. I went to Albert M. Greenfield Elementary School. I came up in the Point Breeze Basketball Youth Association. So, that was in a basketball league in the area in the era, that produced a lot of great players,
Oh yeah,
during that
South
era.
Philly.
Yeah, I'm 39 years old, so I kind of came along around the 90s, when there
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of legendary guys,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm the first guy to tell you that I was not one of those legendary guys. I was not one of those legendary guys.
I've been
You know,
checking too. I've been checking.
right,
I've been checking.
right.
But
Um,
it doesn't matter because you knew me and I was a part of basketball for 20 something years with Sonny Hill.
there
So
you go.
I know the story. At least I saw the basketball story. And then
Right,
as long as you go overseas and do well and make money, that's all that
right,
matters, because it's some people that came right out of college and they ain't make a dime. They working at McDonald's or something,
right,
so it's real out there.
right. So, I mean, as far as my particular upbringing, I went to Central High School. Back then in the 90s, man, you had to wait your turn. Even
Hmm.
at a place like Central, it wasn't a basketball school, but I had a couple of guys in front of me. So I didn't really end up getting on the floor until like 11th grade. And
Mm.
even then, I wasn't a starter. So I didn't start until my senior year. And,
Okay.
we did okay. I was a decent player. I mean, not like an outstanding player, but, I was kind of like a late bloomer and I always had a considerable amount of potential.
Yeah.
And I would say athletically, I was probably one of the better athletes in my class in terms of running and jumping.
Yeah. But
So
you
there was a lot
maximized
of
your
potential there, but I was
situation though.
raw. Right, yeah, situational. Maybe if I went to a different school, or maybe a GAMP or a Bach or a Furnace, maybe my situation would have been different. But I was at Central, just because of the academic reputation there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so even with all of that, I played in the summer and I played Total Response and Positive Image and Sunny Hill, of course, for Point Breeze. And I ended up getting, a number of Division 2 looks and Division 3 looks,
Yeah.
which was kind of the first turning point in my life because I didn't take any of those looks. Back then it was all about, Division 1 or it was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Which in hindsight was dumb for me because you need to kind of go where you're celebrated, not tolerated.
Oh
So at
yeah.
any rate, I ended up walking on at Hampton University, which is a Division 1 school, a HBCU in Virginia. And so I went and we had maybe 100, 125 guys come to the tryout, and I made it. I was the one guy that made it.
That's all it may,
So
that. But sometimes the journey is different for everybody. Sometimes
right,
it's a harder grind for other people But as long as you stay consistent and persistent, you know, eventually, the real is going to come out. You won't get that
Right.
opportunity. Yeah.
Well, you know what a lot of guys don't understand, and the misconception is that to be successful, you have to be super talented. I mean,
Oh,
that's
you
only
got to
part
have
of the
some talent.
equation.
You got to have some
So
talent.
yeah, you have to have a baseline level of talent,
Hmm.
which I believe that I have. But there's another dynamic to it that comes down to dedication and commitment and your attitude and your work ethic and all those things. So, let's say, I don't know who the best of the best is, but let's say maybe the best guy is a talent level 10,
Oh
okay?
yeah,
And I am, let's say an 8.5. But on the other intangibles like work ethic and commitment and conditioning and nutrition,
yeah, that happens.
basketball IQ, well,
Oh
I'm off
yeah,
the charts in all the other areas,
yeah,
right? So when it comes down to being a Division 1 basketball player for that time, or even maintaining a professional career, those are the things that tend to help you, prolong your career over the long run. It's kind of like an Allen Iverson situation and maybe like a Kobe Bryant situation. Initially, Iverson was considered the more talented athlete early in their career, but Kobe kind of grinded him out to the point where their legacies kind of stack up against each other, and people who weren't around, would find it, almost
Well,
silly
you know
that
what
people
though?
would compare the
I don't,
two.
I don't, I don't know about that because Kobe was a freak at. He still was a freak player. He was 6'7", jump, but he had that gummy game. I call it gummy
Right,
game. He had that little gummy game, but you wasn't used to anybody playing like that. It's funny because I actually did his games too because he played at
right,
the
at Sunny
Sun
Hill,
Hill.
right.
Yeah, so
But look at the
uh
kind of work he put in, though.
yeah, but no, Kobe was more to me focused. If
Right.
Allen
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Right.
Iverson
Yeah, the
was
focus, the
really
intangible.
focused, man, I tell you, boy, he might have been because really nobody could stick him.
Right.
He was blowing
So,
past everybody.
I mean, that's more or less what I'm speaking to. Like pretty much speaking on. Like for me, my talent level was just it was it was good enough,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah.
My
No, no,
basketball
no, no,
skill
no,
set.
no. You had the skill to play the game, but at one point, a switch had to hit again when you went to the next level because you
Right.
start to see a different level when you get to the next. Remember, because it's people sitting on the bench that it might give somebody 40 and 50
Right.
somewhere else in the street. So,
Right.
I know that for a fact that was, definitely
Well,
the way
you know
things
what it
were.
is. You know what the switch was. Honestly, in 2006, once I graduated from school, I started working out at the Bellevue. Which is
Oh
one
yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah.
places.
Oh yeah, I know.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. So,
Hmm.
I got around a lot of good players, but my mentor at the time was
You ain't take
Rashid
no
Bey.
per. You ain't take no. He was there. I
Right.
remember that.
Uh-huh.
I
That was my
remember that.
mentor. And
Rashid
that was
Bey.
the guy who I worked out with every single day before my rookie year. And
Hmm.
he was phenomenal. He was the same size as me,
No, no.
but
I'm gonna tell you,
he was
he was. I
highly
played against.
skilled.
I played
Yeah,
against him.
quick,
When we was in there.
everything.
Yeah,
Strong, skilled, leadership, and all that.
yeah.
So, that was a blessing for me in the sense that all right, I get to go up against a Big Five Hall of Famer, and and not only a legend in my part of town, which is South Philadelphia, but a Philadelphia legend. He's in the Big Five Hall of Fame. So I got to go head up with him every single day.
Hmm.
Right, that's a
Yeah,
tough
yeah.
matchup.
Because he was in the gym. I remember. Because
Right,
remember, Linda Page used to come in the gym too.
exactly. Right. Rest in
Yeah.
peace,
So
Linda
yeah,
Page. Right.
yeah.
She shot at every. She never saw a shot she didn't like.
Nope. Me and her couldn't get along because I shot the
Yeah, yeah,
ball.
because y'all was both trying to shoot that thing.
Yeah, so I had to switch it up.
So, I think the switch was with a lot of people. Like I mean, for somebody like me, it's a confidence thing. So playing against
It's all
She gave me the
confidence.
confidence to realize, hey, you know what? If he's considered one of the best, all right, I'm getting killed every day, but they're
Yeah.
not going to be as good as him.
No, no,
So I'm
no.
holding my own. I mean, I'm not winning these battles, right? But I'm holding my own.
Mhm. Oh
So
yeah.
if I can do good against somebody like him, I should be okay against these other guys.
Oh yeah.
So I end up getting invited to some exposure camps and out at Syracuse University in West Virginia. And when I went, I was on a different level from those other guys. My conditioning level was through the roof, because he killed me. He
Yeah.
introduced me to proper nutrition, which is something that, I didn't grow up on. We grew up in Section 8 housing and on WIC. So I ate whatever my grandmother had on the table,
Oh yeah. That's
whatever
when
my mother
everybody
put on
was
the table.
standing on the corner waiting for the cheese. The cheese don't
Right.
even go out your body.
Exactly. Listen, I was in that line on 22nd of Washington with my
Yeah,
mother.
yeah,
The
yeah.
first of the month.
You know what?
So
I think
I,
everybody can kind of attest to that. If you from North Philly, South, because I'm from North, and if you
right.
from North, South, Southwest at that time, it was like that. So,
Yeah.
that was Reaganomics, by the way, and they gave him a lot of credit. And I tried to tell everybody that was him who had us out there with that block of cheese. But go
Right.
ahead.
So I didn't even understand the value or the importance of how you fuel your body. I mean, you're an athlete, right?
Yeah.
You can't like if you're a guy like me, I can't be out there drinking, smoking, eating cheesesteaks and fries every night because I'm not talented enough to be able to be successful while doing those things. So I had to
Well,
make a choice.
Well, you know what though? I'm glad you said that because nobody is that talented enough. If you just keep putting in junk, your body gonna be junk.
It catches up to you. It
Yep.
catches up to you. Right. So between me having a great mentor and him teaching me about nutrition and the workouts and the
Yeah.
yoga and basically we're talking about professionalism. I went into the game strong.
Yeah.
When I first got to Europe and
Hmm.
and it
I
kind of
followed your
snowballed.
career, but I followed you because remember, I was doing the parties, and
Right,
once we got on Facebook, I always kind of always checked up on all the players anyway. You'd be surprised, I know them all, from
right,
Dion Waiters and all them. Like, I mean,
right,
I can go on and on with the list,
right.
but I noticed that you was always, but you got a slogan. It's called "Be Epic." I thought that
Absolutely,
I thought that I was like, yo, no, I mean, you got NBA players don't even have that slogan.
absolutely.
So you went overseas and made that a brand to yourself. And look, I check on everything anyway. And I see that you over there killing them. So
Right.
I
Well, you know
understand that
what?
basketball, but because the ball got 100 colors on it. But because we used to ball,
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this. Um, as far as Be Epic is concerned, it's more so it is a slogan, but it's kind of just a philosophy in how I'd like to live my life.
oh yeah,
Okay, so we have like one of my old heads told me his name is Marshall Taylor. He's from South Philadelphia. He won a
I know, Mar-
championship at yeah
I know.
Marshall. He's South Philly royalty. He
Oh
won a
yeah, I know
championship at
Marshall.
Southern. And,
Yeah,
you know,
Marshall with his
yeah,
sons.
right. Everybody knew Marshall.
Yeah.
So he would always tell me just little things. Like hey, we got enough failures. We got enough schoolyard guys. We don't
Hmm.
need more average people,
You,
right?
you want to hear a story on him? I used to play back. I did, I found out who he was, but I used to go down 10th and Pine and play, and
Yeah,
he was
no, Temple
always down
Lombard.
there.
Temple Lombard.
Yeah, 10th
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Lombard. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
10th,
See, that's
10th and
his stomping
Lombard.
ground. Cause
Yeah,
he's
so
from
I used to go
13th
down
Street. So
there.
yeah,
Yep.
right,
Look, it was crazy because I used to ride my bike. Y'all never knew this. I rode my bike down there early. First, I used to ride around the park. This is when I was really getting it in. I used to ride around the park, then shoot to 10th and Lombard,
yeah,
play basketball to like 12, then then ride my bike up to Sunny Hills. So that's why if you was there long enough, you knew that I had a bike. I used to ride that all the way back up,
yeah,
didn't do the games.
yeah. Wow,
Yeah, so Sonny will tell you. Matter of fact, Sonny
yeah,
be speaking about me on the radio on Sundays all the time. So,
right,
he knows I come from the grind. I come from the grind,
right,
so I understand that part of, somebody's career and life and the things you got to do. So,
yeah.
what's up next? What's up next for you?
For me, This is my third. Like, I'm 39 years old, so I'm moving towards retirement.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
figured that.
Yeah, I'm an older guy,
Yeah,
but I've been blessed where I've been relatively injury free for the most part. Nothing too serious.
yeah.
Um,
You've been good.
and I've been in Iceland.
Okay.
By the grace of God, I've had I've been there for 3 years now. So, my agent and I have been able to leverage it into coaching opportunities because you
Oh
can't play basketball forever,
no, you're not gonna
right?
do that, man.
Yeah,
You just
I don't even want to pretend to play myself and feel like, I never wanted to be a guy that just bounced the basketball and that was it. And then I just got older and got fat and talk about how I was good back in my day.
yeah.
So I wanted to transition into coaching and mentoring and playing in Iceland. I play for a club named Ia, which is in a small town in Iceland called Akronis. And
Yeah.
so I've been leveraging it into a coaching position. Right now, I'm operating as a player coach because I still
Mhm.
have some juice left in the tank. But when I do retire, I'll have at least 3 years of head coaching experience under my belt. So when I go into the coaching game wholeheartedly, I'm not coming in naked with no experience. I'm coming in as a guy with 3 years head coaching experience, and I've developed a number of youth players who are kind of like on the junior national team, and we, like everybody's path is different. So,
Yeah.
I'm not even sure how many African American coaches there have been in Iceland, but to
You're
my
gonna be one of
knowledge,
them. You're gonna be
yeah,
one of them.
I'm one. Okay, and
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen.
Oh,
I saw one other guy in 3 years,
but guess
and he
what
was like a
though?
former player.
You're an actual plug to your neighborhood on a whole nother level. Because once you
Right,
get there, you can kind of find out who's next coming up who may not make the NBA, but
right,
you might be able to pull them and give them a financial boost because
right,
hey, sometimes if they don't get no calls, guess what happens?
right.
They don't make no money from the game they love. So
Exactly.
I know you're gonna try to push that envelope because that's what it's all about. Looking out for people
Absolutely.
once you get there because
Being a bridge for guys. Being a
exactly.
bridge for guys.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Philadelphia has this reputation for being a hateful city, right?
Oh
And I
no,
always think about that. They're oh
I
Philly's
never knew that.
yeah. So I think about that deep. I said, man, why is Philly so hateful? And I figured out what it is. The thing about Philadelphia is we have so many talented people in all areas, all different walks of life,
Yeah,
entrepreneurs, music, athletics, just
every
all across the board. But you know what? We get caught up kind of in adverse situations and poverty in the streets and for whatever reason lack of focus and we
it's called
don't make it
distraction. These are all
right.
distractions.
So
It's tough on a
what
black man
right,
and then black boy if you didn't have the financial impact in your life to do certain things. So I know what that's all about. That's a financial
absolutely,
crisis. Then it has to be some sort of family. They going home to a mom and the father. They got to go home to some type of you know setup that makes sense, and so they can
yeah.
keep they can see that, and then make sure that can continue for themselves.
Well, that's what I'm trying to give them. I'm trying to give them first of all a sense of hope.
Urgency.
Yeah,
It's urgent
you got
now.
yeah, opportunity. Like
Yeah.
I tell guys all the time, like, yo, fam, you taller than me, you might have more talent than me. I'm envious of you. If I had
Mhm,
what you, man, I'd be in the NBA. But
mhm.
you don't work hard enough. You're doing all the wrong stuff. You're not focused like how you need to be. So I'm saying if I can make it and get a 15-year career out of it, right?
Yeah,
I'm giving you the blueprint. This is what you need to do. You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
been 15 years. I've been blessed to be in 12 countries in 15 years. I kissed all the babies and been on TV and won
Mhm.
championships and lost champions. Like I mean, I'm not an NBA basketball player, but basketball doesn't owe me anything. I've played in arenas full of, with 15,000 people. I've been booed on national TV. I've been cheered on national. The whole experience of a professional
Mhm.
athlete,
Oh yeah,
right? So
exactly. Because nobody's going to have a perfect career, no matter
right,
what. Whenever
right.
there's people, because people creates opinions, and then if you give them any ammunition, well, guess what?
Mhm.
Now with social media, they coming for your neck.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, my thing is, as an underdog, I've had people go out of their way to say, "Oh well, he's overrated," right? But I'm coming from uh, a a house with no father figure as a child, drug issues in the family. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm undersized. Okay, I was a walk on in college. I'm asthmatic. I'm bald. Right?
Oh man, you know went
Listen,
bald. Yeah. Now you ain't got
listen.
no hair.
No, I'm done. Listen, when they called me overrated, you know what I did? I was
What?
happy. You know what I went home and told my mom? I said,
What?
Mom, guess what? She said, What? I said, I'm rated. I'm
Yep.
on the radar. I'm
Yeah.
somebody blessed enough where you would even consider overrated.
But you know what it was?
Listen,
You
I
know what
didn't
it
expect
was?
to be known, let
Yeah,
alone
but you know,
overrated. So I'm cool with that.
yeah, but you know what it really was? What it really was you kept going and you
Yeah,
want, because see, everybody don't want it. They can have all the physical skills. I've seen it, especially in Philly. Philly got probably some guys that should have gone pro, but
yeah,
you can kind of
yeah,
see where it went to the left. They get to hanging out with this person, that person. Hey, next thing you know, it's over. And
yeah,
somebody else done moved up. And so I know how that, definitely is a situation. Just like I have a situation right now. I'm not even gonna speak on it. I guarantee you'll hear about it.
yeah,
I kept going. Something
yeah.
is there. I don't get into it. If they talk about you, who cares? Because
Right.
at the end of the day, they wasn't no, not one soul was the reason why you ate or made it. How many of them really wanted you to make it?
Yeah.
You could feel it. So I
Yeah.
don't never get in that. I just keep going.
But you know what? When you're from a city like Philadelphia, and
Oh,
though sometimes that negative energy makes us who we are.
oh yeah.
Okay, because it'll force you to develop some grit, some toughness, some
Hmm.
determination.
Yep.
Um, I was joking around with a friend of mine today, talking about the Ralph Brooks Community Basketball League, down at 20th and Tasker, right?
Yeah.
And so we're supposed to play against Wilson Park. Wilson Park is a project in South Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So my friend and I are joking. I'm saying, hey man, when I was a kid, I owe y'all guys because when I was a kid, I remember that y'all jumped me. Y'all, y'all jumped me, man. Like after the game, right?
Oh
And
man,
I almost didn't make it out of there.
you
But
know
you
what?
know what?
About you becoming Negatron now because you just walking over people. I remember y'all ain't give me no popsicle. And you did me. Them dudes, I can already see that now. Okay.
So
Somebody.
listen, I had to go back because I didn't want. It was like either like don't go back and just be done with playing in the league, or
Yeah.
go back. You know what I mean? And just see how it go. And I guess they got tired of beating me up, man. So like, look, just let him play, man. So when you were in Philly, that determination, it was easy for me to keep trying to fight to get overseas because, I mean, those guys, they weren't as tough as the guys from Wilson Projects, man. So, Philly made you, it makes you who you are. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
So, in one sense, it's a badge of honor for me, and at the same token, I want to provide a bridge for the next guy. You know what I mean? The
Well,
next dude.
you're gonna create honestly, by me being at the Sunny Hill League, I just looked like I was a person that was meant to be in that spot
Right,
to help the kids, hear their voice for the first time. Because for some of them, remember, we did developmental. So developmental league starts at fifth grade. They from fifth grade on up. So I was announcing games for 8 months out of a year for 22
right,
years. So
right.
people don't even know that it started like in the fifth grade and then it went all the way up. And that's how I was able to meet people and watch them grow. And it's been people like you. who
Yeah.
wasn't really getting the press, but you
Right.
went on and you
Hmm.
ended up doing it better than some of the ones who had the names. And that's
Right.
all that matters
Right.
because
And that's the
it's all
blessing.
about
Yeah.
driving will at that point.
Yeah. That's the blessing. You can you can achieve longevity. Just by staying consistent and staying committed. And you know what? I'll tell you this much. Sometimes when you blessed with all that notoriety and
Uh-huh.
all that talent as a young man, as a younger player, it
Hmm.
can work against you because the first time you get hit in the face, the first bit of controversy, the first bit of adversity, the first time you're not starting, the first time you're not the man on the team, the first time you get cut, right?
Mm.
They fall apart. They quit
Yep.
because they never had to fight for anything. Whereas
Mm-mm.
myself, I was blessed where I had to basically fight for any scrap and scrape, any bit of
Yeah.
notoriety, any starting position, I had to make the team. I had to get cut my first year at Central. I had to do this. I had to transfer in college. I've been MVP overseas. I've been cut from teams overseas, all of that.
Yeah.
So all it was just the next level of me, but I was never like a silver spoon type player. So
No.
I was accustomed when
You know,
things
I
started
know.
going
I
smoothly.
know. I just didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
all the other
I've
part
been there for my whole
with the
career.
cream
So
cheese and all that. I didn't know all that. But
so in a sense, it makes you who you are. You
oh
understand
yeah.
what I'm saying? So it worked out for me better because I just looked at it as okay, this is the next fight. So when the opportunities came for my career to become more balanced and solidified, and for me to get into the financial bracket that I wanted to be in, and do the things that I wanted to do, and to some regard, it felt weird to me because I was always used to fighting.
Yeah.
I was used to keeping my bags packed and having to play my heart out every game because man, they might cut me tomorrow, and I don't know if I'm gonna get my money and and all that. So it was just a situation where it made me who I am, and it's something that I appreciate. And maybe if I was more successful when I was younger, I may not have made it this far because it's been a lot of bumps in the roads, and my family and friends can attest to that. So it's just a blessing for me to be where I am today,
Well, I
honestly.
already knew you had the attitude back then that eventually something was going to happen. Nobody knows what their journey really going to be, but it's
Right,
already scripted already. Trust me, it's already
right,
scripted who's going to do what in their lifetime. And I always tell people, even when it's time to go, it's already written already. Believe it or not,
yeah,
you may not believe it, but it's already written. And a lot of
right,
things, some people get in your life for the good, and you're gonna have a choice. Who you gonna listen to? The people for the good, or the people for that's gonna try to take you in the ground. So
right,
I learned that, growing up, and you just got to really make the right choices and keep, and if you got a goal, go for your goal.
yeah,
Definitely go for your
yeah,
goal because that's going to keep you going and going and going, you'll keep living for it. No
absolutely.
goal, you ain't gonna be living for it. You get high, you do this, you do that. So I know how that goes.
Well, that's the thing. When you're coming from a North Philadelphia and a South Philadelphia, right? Every single day you're waking up, okay? You are seeing violence, poverty, drug addiction, all these negative influences, right? So I always decide, and that's what part of Be Epic stands for, like, or like really what it means. I said, man, look, if I don't do anything, right, I'm going to end up failing. I'm going to fail. If
Yeah.
I'm just average, if I just do what everybody else do, I'm going to lose because I'm already at the bottom of the bottom. I'm not growing up in a wealthy family. I don't have, there is no trust fund for me. There is no
Mm-mm.
safety net.
No, you got only thing you do is trust yourself.
Yeah, right. Look, man, I trust myself. I trust God and say, look, man, I'm just gonna shoot the ball a whole lot of times in the game.
And Lord and God knows you done did that.
Listen, I'm letting it go. You
Yeah,
know what I
you gonna let
mean?
it go.
And I'm letting it go. And hopefully some of them joints go in, and they go in. Maybe I can get paid. And that's about
Well,
all I had to
well,
go off of.
it's obvious they went in because you 39 years old, still getting picked up overseas. So
Yeah,
it's still going in. You'll know when it ain't going in. the calls get real
Does the call
short.
stop?
They stop and they don't care no more who's next, and that's
Right.
it.
So, look, I mean, that's just my whole thing, man. Hopefully, some of the guys coming after me, like, I mean, I've enjoyed more than my share of success. I've
Yeah.
been around longer than maybe I should have. I consider
You
myself a
can't say that.
classic
I told you everything that happens for a person,
habit for a reason. Yeah,
it was already scripted. It was
yeah,
never unintended to happen in your life. You just had to find that, that way to get there, and you found it. You had to
yeah,
block things out and
yeah.
become more focused, and sometimes that's what it takes. Some
Right.
people got the gift, some people work hard, and
Yeah,
that, look, Eric Snow, he worked hard. Allen Iverson, well, it was a gift to him, and there's a
yeah.
difference. It's a difference.
True,
So
true. You know, like a lot of guys, like me, for example, anybody I'm friends with, or with social media friends or what have you. Everybody knows that. They ask me every single day, and the answer is always the same. It's been the same for the past 20 years. I wake up
mhm.
early every single morning, and I condition. I run. I start my day off with prayer and a run. I condition
Well,
because at some point, yeah,
taste that.
somebody. I mean, it's absolutely necessary as far as maintaining your body and your legs and your lungs. You have to be in
Mhm.
tip top, physical condition, or else it can cost you your job in my line of work. So what I find out with a lot of the young guys is that they love to play basketball, but they don't have any appreciation for the work. They don't want to work. And the thing is, when you get to the pro level, everybody got game. So what's separating dudes? For me, my motor, my endurance, my ability to play 35, 40 minutes. I don't get injured. I don't need breaks. I
Mhm.
don't need timeouts. If I'm gonna shoot all these shots, I need to be able to I need to be able to, be in the game long enough to shoot them. So I take
Yeah.
pride in things like that. Never missing games, never missing practices, stuff like that. So part of that's just your commitment level in the summer. But you have to make that choice in the summer. Are you gonna go to bed early enough so that you can wake up at 5:30, right? Are you gonna be all night? Are you gonna be hung over in the morning? If you hung over, are you still gonna run? Are you not gonna run?
Look,
Right?
every time I saw you, you was running. So I know, I
Right.
said, he's got to make it. Cause I ain't never seen nobody run like you.
Right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. And that's just something that the old heads put in you. Rashid Bey helped put that in me.
Oh yeah,
Um,
she's
Terrell Stokes put that in me.
Terrell
Uh,
Stokes, yeah, Terrell Maryland
Jeff
went to Maryland.
Myers, Jay
Jeff
Myers.
Jeff Myers, Jay Myers, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know
these
all of them.
guys
They
was
played in the
working.
Hill. Yeah, they
Yeah,
all played
listen,
in the Hill.
man, Jokers. The first guy I ever saw run on the treadmill, like, was Jay Myers at the Christian Street YMCA, and he was
Yeah,
running 117,000 miles an hour. Right? Yo, he was flying on it because I had never seen nobody actually put it up to the top speed. Right?
yeah,
And I remember the old head, his name was Peanut, Mr. Peanut. His name was Kenneth Woods. He kind of raised everybody around that Y. I said, man,
yeah.
Mr. Peanut, why is the guy running like that? And he was like, well, that's Jeff Myers, and he's trying to make it to the NBA. So,
Mm.
and I might be 11, 12, right? And so when you see something like that, you know, subconsciously it put something in you. Terrell Stokes. I was in a car with Terrell Stokes one time with a guy named Mr. Bill Williams, who
Oh wow.
he basically coached our Point Breeze, Total Response, and Positive Image teams. So Terrell was coming in from an Elite Eight appearance. They
Mm-hmm.
just finished Elite Eight, and I said, Mr. Bill said, well, how are you gonna work out today? And he said, man, I'm gonna run down the front street, and then I'm gonna run back. And I was thinking, man, he live on 18th Street. He gonna run 36 blocks, and then he gonna work out. That was
Yeah.
weird to me. My cousin Ty Mason, another workhorse dude. So I got that honest. I was
Mm-hmm.
blessed to have dudes around me that said, yo, 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 that cool guy stuff, you know, the laziness, get that out of you. You know what I mean? Like, do what you need to do. So,
Yeah.
they put that in me early, and it stuck with me. And sometimes I try to give it to the young guys, but to be honest, they don't all want it. Like the love is different. We come from a love basketball era.
No,
It
but
wasn't social media and all that.
told you. everything is already scripted.
Right.
It's just like if somebody wants to learn, they're going to listen. If
Yeah.
somebody is not going to listen, they don't want to learn. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. So
Yeah.
everybody actually don't get it.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
like, I mean,
You
you
know
can
what?
keep, but focus on the people, and you know, you can go to a kid now, and that you know you think can go on because that's all that matters at this point.
Yeah. You know, there was two guys from North Philly. Both of them played in the NBA. Both of them was relatively comparable to my size. Older guys, older than me. And I used to bug them. Mike Anderson, right?
I
And
remember
Doug
Mike.
Overton.
Oh, Doug Overton, yeah,
Yep, both of them.
yeah,
And at a certain point in my career, maybe about 2014, 2015, I start working out with both of them at different times, usually at Drexel, right?
yeah,
And I would annoy them. You know, like I'm getting all that good information. You know, I play against Mike. Yo, Mike, you old and you know you old. How do you keep scoring on young guys? What are you looking at? And he's teaching me about attacking their top foot. Then I work with Doug Overton. He's teaching me how to play pick and roll. So then I became one of the better pick and roll players in my league, right? Because
yeah,
I learned to pick and roll from an NBA point guard. Nobody ever told me to come off the pick and roll slow so that I can read the defense. I was just coming off 100 miles an hour because I didn't
yeah.
know how to do it. So those guys like that, they help extend my career another 3, 4, 5 years because I had the physical ability at that point, but they gave me the tricks of the trade,
Yeah.
right? But I was always willing to be up under them. I always wanted to be around them and listen and whatever. But today the young guys are a little different. They kind of just want what they want, but not all of them are willing to kind of pay for it and,
Well,
and,
they
and kind of
this is the
learn the game in that manner.
this is the cell phone era, dude. This
Oh,
is the cell
yeah,
phone is the new everything for
right,
everybody, from pitchers to like I was doing girls basketball games last year, Crystal Ray, you know,
uh-huh,
and the places used to be packed. It seemed like the girls games, if they market it, they get more people than the boys now. I don't know how
yeah,
that worked out like that, but I remember back in the day. I mean, it was a game. It was a game. But I'm gonna tell you the reason why. You got cable, and remember, basketball can come on all 7 days a week now if you got packages and all that kind of
right,
stuff. And we used to look forward to Sunday, that Sunday game, because nobody had cable. So we would
right,
watch
exactly,
NBC and NBC and CBS. So, and then, but everybody would get up on Sunday, young and old. And all of that is gone now. Young and
absolutely,
old playing in the young don't want to learn from the old because they walk around with that cursed out word called old. With black people, we call it old. White people
yeah,
call it classic. And
right,
I'm telling you, when you say something is old, that means it's worthless.
yeah,
So when they be talking about, yeah, you an OG, they're trying to call you worthless. You old and you gone. That's what it really means.
right, right,
So I'm, like I said, even in music, when you look at music right now, the white bands they're called classic, but they filling up stadiums for 30 years.
yeah,
But yet you go to the old school joints and they call them old school. So they already heard it by calling it old school. And
right,
they got three artists and only 4,000 people, and 3,500 of them is promoters.
yeah,
So now everybody's a promoter. Everybody thinks they's a star. I'm like, yo, the difference was when the cell phone got that camera going, it was over.
absolutely. And
So,
well, I
in
mean
video games,
you know what? I think the cell phone era and social media era, it made them fall in love more with the attention and the accolades as opposed to loving the actual game of basketball for itself.
no, they don't care, but who's liking it.
Right, yeah. But you know
But
what? But when the
but you could be
times get
liked
when
and
the
not really
times
be
get
that
tough
good.
though, they're not your love for attention is not gonna carry you through those dark moments. You know what I mean? Like when you're on a rough road and you're just kind of doing it for likes. You
Yeah,
okay? Like for instance, I'm playing down at Ralph Brooks, right? I'm playing out at the schoolyard right now. I'm 39 years old, right? I'm under contract. I probably shouldn't be playing at the schoolyard, right? But because of
yeah.
the quarantine, I need some kind of work,
Cardio. You
right?
need cardio.
Yeah, I need it. Like I need it bad, right?
Hmm.
So so what it is if
Yeah, I
you like
saw
a
you put
ball,
that picture. I saw you put that picture up. You like Robert Parrish.
yeah. Listen. Let me tell you something, man. I haven't played in a schoolyard like this much and over since I was in my 20s, and I haven't played this much in the summer in probably 4 or 5 years,
Mm.
right? But
Knees.
because of your love for the game, I like to go down there and sometimes get back into the old element, right? And I'm not like the best player out there, like as far as that's concerned. The schoolyard game is completely different from the European game.
Oh
It's just
yeah.
like there's a dude that might be good in a battle rap on a cipher, and he might not be able to put a good album together.
Mm-mm.
You know,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
that
I would
happened.
imagine, look, dudes like Two Chains and them, right, are platinum selling artists, but they would probably get killed in the cipher of North Philly somewhere, right?
Oh man.
So, so
And he's
I'm
South
not a
Philly.
cipher dude. I'm not a schoolyard dude. I don't have that kind of guy. I'm a pick and roll player, right?
Yeah.
But you because of your love for the game, you
Mm-hmm.
still want to just get it in where you can, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Regardless, inside, outside, good for your knees, bad for your knee, whatever. The crowd on. I mean, you know how it is in these leagues, and especially
Yeah.
with a guy like me. I have a standard,
Yeah.
like about me. So when I come, they expected me. They want me to get 25 and 12 every single game, and I'm supposed to make every shot and all that. And so I enjoy the competition of it, and I enjoy going back and forth with the guys in the crowd, and I
Yeah.
enjoy arguing with the refs, and I enjoy just being a part of the community, and
Mm-hmm.
and I just keep it all. I mean, I keep it all in proper perspective.
Well,
It's
you
not
come
my
from.
job, so I'm not trying to get
Remember,
like hurt out there, nothing like that.
but you came from the hardcore. Nobody expected but you. So
Right.
sometimes it don't matter as long as you believe it's going to manifest itself to
Oh,
great.
absolutely.
And so
Well,
no
that's all
matter
you need.
what, guess what? You surpassed a lot of the people that, you know, maybe at the time were more talented, but for some reason the
Hmm.
drive wasn't there. So
Yeah.
you surpassed all that and made the best out of your situation. Now you technically you could retire
Yeah.
because you gave the game. Nobody really 39 years old really balling,
Right.
balling. A couple of people that still ball, but you still made it. And all that matters is no matter what, you got a line and you still got a line in there for some other young people that you might could put them down with something.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So you
Absolutely.
still a vessel, even though you feel like, okay, I probably got like 1 or 2 more years and then I'm done.
Right.
But
Right.
you still a vessel, and nobody could take that away.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I knew you was a smart guy, man. I
Hey
knew you.
man, look.
I knew you was an intelligent boy, man. You know what I mean. You
Yeah.
controversial, man, but you all right with me, man.
Hey man, look. One thing I did, I joked around a lot with a lot of people, but I'm gonna tell you, dude, I get into those books and I
Yeah.
learn. But I learned business. Not I didn't go with the typical college route of doing things. I
Yeah.
actually went a different way. And I keep telling everybody, all college and schools is an institution where they put a book in front of your face, but you still got to learn more education past 12th grade is obvious. And you
Yeah.
got to learn how to get to some serious money. There's people out
Right.
here living in some big houses, man,
Right.
real big houses. They
Yeah. I know.
didn't get that through college. Trust me.
Right.
That's wealth and
Right.
well, like you said earlier, trust funds and that's lifeline money. That's not the typical money. So
Yeah.
I'm into that. I'm into doing that. You know what I'm gonna do? You give me a couple more months, and I'm gonna show you something. You
Oh,
gonna be
listen,
like,
you know,
this.
I'm
You
waiting on.
told me.
I'm always listen.
I,
I love a good story. I love a good underdog story. I
oh
love a
yeah.
good comeback story. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
we all underdogs because what they teach us is underdog stuff anyway. What they
right,
put us through is underdog, like you said, no no father but a mother, or
right,
a mother with no mother with a father. I can attest that growing up myself. So I know about
yeah,
that. I was in foster care and but nope, but I always kept people laughing. Nobody knew what was going on. They didn't know what
right,
I was going through, but I went through those moments in my life. So I understand, you know, at least you could say, well, you was with XYZ all your life. Well, it wasn't like that for me. A couple years out of my life, I wasn't with mine. So
right,
everybody got a journey. Everybody got a way of explaining things and telling people. But man, when it's real, when you really sit down and talk to people, man, everybody got a good story, and
yeah,
everybody got a story. You were like, whoa, I didn't know that happened. So you
yeah,
never know. We never had that kind of conversation anyway. You
right.
know. So all right. So look, Chaz Franklin, pro point guard, overseas SL Digital Media Podcast. We out of here, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Be safe.